Namaste, my dear friends. We are exploring the reasons why people don't take yoga so seriously. Today is the 10th part of this series and I title it, There's Nothing Quite Like It. The beauty of yoga is that there is no other modern day equivalent to yoga tradition. On the one hand, yoga is got some kind of connection. It resembles physical fitness because there are certain asanas that we are doing which are working on the body. But that's not the only thing in yoga. We are also using breath-centered practices through pranayama, which is not existent in many other traditions. There is no modern day equivalent, especially in the West. In the Orient it is there. In Japanese and Chinese traditions there is breath-centered practices where they work on the chi, for example, but in other traditions it's not. When we work with the mind through meditation, through mantra, etc., there's no modern day equivalent of it except religion. But yoga is not a religion, it's a spiritual tradition. When we do swadhyaya with the teacher, we are actually functioning in the role of counseling. It's like psychotherapy, psychoanalysis, but swadhyaya is very much part of yoga. There's nothing quite like that in the modern tradition where one system encompasses all of these different dimensions. And therefore it's confusing. Because yoga is such a grand and wonderful tradition. But it's difficult to break it down into like, oh, it's like this or oh, it's like that. Because yoga is like the sum of all this and more. And that is another reason why many people don't take yoga seriously, because it's too complicated for the modern mind to understand, because there's nothing quite in the modern era where one system encompasses all of this, because we're also talking about diet in yoga practices. Ahara niyama. We are talking about lifestyle changes, vihara niyama. So the enormous scope in the yoga practices, which is fascinating if you consider it, but to a common person, it's quite complicated. When you start explaining all these dimensions of yoga, they get overwhelmed. And then they kind of shut their mind towards it because they think it's too complicated to understand. And I think that is another reason which is also a problem, because the modern mind wants things which are much more simple, much more easy, much more quicker to understand or learn. Whereas yoga is for an intelligent, inquiring, thoughtful mind. So I think that is another reason, because yoga cannot really be explained in a very simple way in one or two sentences with the least common denominator in mind. And that's another challenge that we in the yoga community have to face, because there's nothing quite like it in modern times. I sincerely don't know the solution for this, except that we in the yoga community must try to create much more awareness about what is yoga and continue our efforts with all our hearts so that we remain loyal to the tradition, at the same time try to make it accessible to the students. If you have some ideas about this, my friends, please feel free to share it with me and I'll be happy to reflect on that. Namaste, dear ones. Namaste, my dear friends. My name is Kausthub Desikachar and I am currently representing the Viniyoga tradition. Thank you for watching our channel. Thank you for watching this video. And if you have not yet subscribed to our channel, please click the subscribe button so that you may receive fantastic updates every week on all the wonderful videos that we are presenting.
And of course, we would encourage you to share these videos through your social media platforms to all your friends and students so that this kind of special knowledge can be shared to all those who are seriously interested in the classical traditions of yoga. Thank you for your support, my dear friends, and we wish you all the very best. Namaste.